8 shortages coming soon. Be ready. Welcome, preppers. It's great to be back with you. Listen, we all know that staying ahead of the curve is crucial in times like these. We need to be adaptable, resourceful, and most importantly, prepared. These are things that you might want to consider adding to your preps or having a backup plan for. Let's jump to it. First up, we've got beef. Now, you know how essential protein is for survival, and beef has always been a reliable source. But in 2022, ranchers and farmers faced all kinds of difficulties due to record-breaking weather events. Texas, the largest producer of beef in the U.S., was hammered by an extreme drought. This drought crippled the cattle industry, forcing many ranchers to cull their herds. And what happens when supply dwindles? Prices skyrocket. We need to be thinking about alternative sources of protein, whether it's raising our own chickens, learning to fish, or stocking up on beans and lentils. This beef situation, it's a prime example of why we prepare. It's not about panicking, it's about being resourceful and having a plan B and a plan C if you need it. We've got to be able to adapt to whatever Mother Nature throws at us. That's what being prepared is all about. Now, I'm not much of a champagne sipper myself, a bit too fancy for this old survivalist. But the recent shortage of bubbly is a sign of something bigger going on. The demand for champagne and wines overall began to skyrocket in 2021. But just as demand was booming, the weather threw a curveball. Drought and rough conditions hit the vineyards of California and the Champagne regions of France hard last year. These extreme conditions decimated the harvest, leaving producers with a fraction of their usual yield. What happens in one part of the world, whether it's a drought in France or a storm in California, has a ripple effect that can be felt globally. This shortage is a reminder to stay vigilant, stay informed, and be prepared for the unexpected. So, while you might not be stockpiling champagne in your bunker, it's a lesson in interconnectedness. Now, this one hits close to home, even for a guy who's used to foraging for his greens in the wild. We're talking about lettuce. Yes, lettuce, and how it's become a surprising casualty of the changing climate and unexpected challenges. It started with restaurants struggling to get their hands on enough lettuce for their burgers and salads. Last November alone, the price of lettuce shot up a staggering 20%. And the culprit? A double whammy of misfortune. First, we've got this nasty little virus called INSV, or impatiens necrotic spot virus. This virus ripped through California, wiping out a whopping 80% of the 2022 crop. As if the virus wasn't bad enough, California has been grappling with severe drought conditions. Lettuce needs a lot of water to grow, and with water in short supply, this perfect storm brewed. Lettuce is one of the easiest vegetables to grow yourself, even if you only have a small backyard or a sunny windowsill. It's a winter crop, meaning it thrives in cooler temperatures, and you can start harvesting fresh leaves in a matter of weeks. We need to be resourceful, adaptable, and ready to take matters into our own hands. Chapter 4, Canned Out. When convenience becomes a concern. Now, let's talk about something that's a cornerstone of many a prepper's stockpile canned goods. They're convenient, they last forever, and they're a lifesaver when the unexpected strikes. But here's the thing, even those trusty cans are facing some choppy waters. Remember the great aluminum shortage of 2023? Well, it's back with a vengeance. Aluminum is the backbone of those durable cans, and with demand skyrocketing and production struggling to keep up, we're staring down the barrel of a potential canned food crisis. And it's not just aluminum that's causing a ruckus. Carbon dioxide, a crucial ingredient in the carbonation process for your favorite fizzy drinks and even in the packaging of some food items, is also in short supply. It's a perfect storm of supply chain disruptions, increased demand, and a dash of global uncertainty. And it all adds up to one thing. Those shelves stocked with canned goods might not be as full as we're used to. This is a wake-up call to diversify those preps. Explore alternative preservation methods like dehydrating, pickling, or fermenting. And remember, the best way to ensure you have food is to learn to grow your own. Chapter 5. Oil and Troubled Waters. The Sunflower and Palm Oil Predicament. Now, let's shift our focus to a different kind of shortage, one that's got its roots in a conflict that's sending shockwaves across the globe, the war in Ukraine. We're talking about sunflower and palm oil, two ingredients that are practically ubiquitous in the food industry. Ukraine and Russia supply a staggering 50% of the global demand for sunflower oil. But with the conflict throwing a wrench into production and exports, the ripple effects are being felt far and wide. And it's not just sunflower oil that's feeling the heat. Palm oil, another widely used oil, is facing its own set of challenges, from labor shortages to sustainability concerns. These shortages highlight a crucial point about our interconnected world. When conflict disrupts production in one part of the world, it creates a domino effect that can impact food prices, availability, and even social stability in other parts of the world. So, what's a prepper to do? Diversify those cooking oils. Explore alternatives like olive oil, avocado oil, or even good old-fashioned lard. Stay informed about global events and how they might impact your pantry. All right, folks, let's talk about a staple food that's been sustaining civilizations for millennia: bread. Ukraine and Russia are responsible for a whopping 30% of the world's wheat exports. And with the ongoing conflict disrupting planting seasons, harvests, and supply chains, the global wheat supply is feeling the strain. Here in the US, we grow a significant portion of our own wheat, but that doesn't make us immune to the global repercussions of this shortage. When the global supply of a staple food like wheat dwindles, it puts upward pressure on prices everywhere, including here at home. Wheat is a key ingredient in countless other food products, from pasta to pastries to breakfast cereals. So even if you're not a huge bread eater, chances are you'll feel the pinch of this shortage in one way or another. It's a good time to start thinking about diversifying your diet, exploring alternative grains like rice, oats, or quinoa. We've weathered storms before, and we'll weather this one too. Let's turn our attention to another staple crop that's facing a bumpy road ahead: corn. Corn is more than just that sweet, juicy treat we enjoy on the cob. It's a versatile grain that's used in countless food products, from breakfast cereals to sweeteners to livestock feed. But those Midwestern cornfields endured a real beating last year. High temperatures, scorching sun, and relentless heat waves took a toll on the delicate corn plants. Intense storms, some with hail the size of golf balls, pummeled the fields, damaging crops and reducing yields. Pesky insects, emboldened by the changing climate, descended upon the cornfields, further decimating the harvest. The corn shortage is a stark reminder that our food supply is vulnerable to the whims of Mother Nature. Stock up on those pantry staples, explore alternative grains, and consider growing your own food if you have the space. Don't wait for the headlines to dictate your actions. Let's wrap things up with a juicy topic that's sure to make you pucker oranges. Hurricane Ian ripped through Florida, the heartland of orange production in the U.S. Ian uprooted trees, stripped branches bare, and sent millions of oranges tumbling to the ground unsalvageable. The 2022 to 2023 orange harvest plummeted a staggering 51%, the lowest yield in over 75 years. That's a loss of over 20 million boxes of oranges, enough to make a serious dent in the supply chain. Florida's orange groves have been battling a relentless foe for years: a devastating disease called citrus greening. This bacterial disease, spread by a tiny insect called the Asian citrus psyllid, attacks the vascular system of citrus trees, slowly choking them from the inside out. The orange shortage is a stark reminder that our food supply is vulnerable to the whims of Mother Nature and the spread of disease. So, while your morning OJ might be a bit more expensive, it's a lesson in preparedness. Stay vigilant and keep your preps diversified. There we go. There's 8 things. Remember, being prepared isn't about living in fear. It's about taking responsibility for our well-being and being resourceful in the face of challenges. Stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay strong. Until next time, this is your name, signing off and reminding you to always be ready for anything.